right here. To all you new comedians, myself included, pro tip, if you're going to play a show at a bowling alley in Gaylord, never open with a joke shitting on Duck Dynasty. That was a hard lesson to learn. It took me like 4 minutes to recover, I think. I really want to get in shape. Like, I'm not terribly out of shape, as you can see. But I feel like there should be like a drinker's diet. You know what I mean? Like, can I just admit defeat and say, like, okay, I'm going to drink a 6-pack most of the nights. How can I eat to mitigate that without exercising? That's the kicker. So I'm working on that. It's a lot of grass-fed beef and leafy greens. You know, good in, good out. I always tell my wife that the moment I met her, I fell in love with her. As I've gotten older, I realized that was probably bullshit. It worked out. We've been married almost 4 years, so... The thing is what I was feeling when we met the first time was probably about 60% boner. But the other 40% was in complete agreement, and at 24, that's what I considered love. You know, some of us have to work shitty jobs. Dave, as you know, can attest. But don't you wish there was truth when you're job hunting, like in the ads they put out? They're like, come join a fun, energetic team. That's not what you want to say. It should say, look, here's a shitty job for shitty pay, where you're going to work for a bunch of dick managers. But if you hack it long enough, you can become one of those dick managers. I have a buddy who's here tonight who actually performed for you already. Works at a head shop / sex shop, which those two are not nearly as related as it seems like they should be. And if you ever want to not sleep at night because you're awake worrying about what things people will put in their body, go take a tour of that sex shop. I went in there the other day just out of pure morbid curiosity, and I looked on the wall and I saw a device that looked like a mortar shell. And I believe it was called the Admiral. And as I'm looking at this device, I realized that it's marketed towards gay men, and in realizing that, I realized where that thing is supposed to go. Now, if there's any gay men here tonight, you know what? I'm not here to judge anybody. You rock it however you want. But that seems fucking risky, doesn't it? Will you ever be able to trust a fart again? So last Easter, did you guys have a good Easter? Woo! Easter's kind of a hard day for those of us that don't believe in bunnies. Well, I was out driving last Easter, and as some of you may know, that's also a high holy day for stoners, being 420. Driving on that day is not always the best idea, and I realized that when I spent 4 minutes waiting for a stop sign to turn green. I got honked at. Let's see. I went on a lot of orders, so I'm just going to spend a lot of time over here. Actually, speaking of my wife, we didn't want to go the traditional wedding route. She grew up very Catholic. I grew up very not. So our options were, after we got engaged, it was either have a Catholic wedding, make her family happy, piss off my family, or have a semi-Protestant wedding, make my family happy, and piss off her whole family. So instead, we just eloped and pissed off everybody. Woo! And it happened to work out that I had a friend who lived in Kentucky at the time. She was like, yeah, come on down, I work at this resort, we can get you guys a room. Like, my aunt, cousin, something is a minister of some sort, she can do a little ceremony for you. We're like, cool, right. So we go to the courthouse down in Kentucky and answer a few questions, pay our $35, get the marriage license, and I shit you not, we were walking out the door and she goes, oh, one last thing. Y'all aren't related in any way, are you? That's a true story. I know cousin fucking is one of those things that it seems like should go on in Kentucky, but do you have to try that hard to live up to your stereotype? I had another joke that I just thought, oh, actually Lewis reminded me. He knows that cats like the taste of earwax because he's seen my cat. who religiously steals Q-tips out of the bathroom trash. It's disgusting, but it makes him happy. He just has like a little hoard of Q-tips in his cat condo. By the way, if my landlord's here, I'm making all this shit. I'm doing that. But anyway, I realized in recounting that story that a lot of our friends are at the age where they're having babies. You know, and they're like, oh, you should do it. It's the best thing in the world. And I always point to this story as an exact example as why I'm not supposed to be a parent yet. Thank you for the light. I'm almost done. See, I see my cat grab a Q-tip out of the trash and gnaw all the nasty earwax off it, and I'm like, oh, it makes him happy. How cute. So it's like if my friends were over and be like, dude, your son's like licking the electrical out. Makes him happy. Thanks, guys. Have a good night.